Hey y'all, welcome back to the cookie jar. Today we are doing the third recipe from the cherry cheesecake murder. It is called the fruit pocket French toast. These 2 pages. And this one. All in all, it seems like a lot of ingredients for this, but you do have to assemble like little sandwiches and then let them soak in the eggy custard for like 20 minutes. So we're not preheating the oven right away. But the first things we're going to need is 1/2 cup of butter, 1 stick, 1/4 pound, 1 cup brown sugar, firmly packed, 1/2 cup maple syrup, 1 cup chopped pecans, optional, loaf, at least 12 slices of sliced bread, white, egg, raisin, whatever, 1/2 cup butter softened, 1 stick, 1/4 pound, 2 cups canned or fresh fruit, any kind except melon or grapes. I actually have this can of strawberry pie filling I've been like staring at for a while now, and I wanted to get rid of it, so that's what I measured out 2 cups of that. I want to try. Eggs beaten 8, 3/4 cup white granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 cups heavy cream, whipping cream, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/2 cup butter, 1 stick, 1/4 pound melted, powdered confectioner sugar to sprinkle. So all in all, you're using 3 sticks of butter for this recipe. It says leave 1 stick of butter out on the counter to soften it, unwrap it and nuke it for a few seconds in the microwave. If you're using canned fruit, open it and dump it in a strainer now. Which I find weird because it mentions later at some point that if you don't have the fruit, you can use like jam or preserves. But yeah, and then you're gonna heat the 2nd stick of butter. So you're melting the 2nd stick of butter with the brown sugar and the maple syrup in a microwave safe bowl. And then you're gonna pour that into the bottom of a sprayed 9x13. And you're gonna sprinkle it with the nuts if you're using them. And then you're laying out your 12 slices of bread. And you're gonna, on one side of the bread, put butter. And then you're gonna put fruit on top of that. And then you're gonna put butter on the 2nd side of the bread and use it to cover the bread with the fruit. So, I'm not sure if the butter's supposed to go on the outside or the inside, but the way they're saying it, the butter goes on the inside with the fruit. So, butter, fruit, butter, bread, I guess. And then top it with well-drained fruit, cut in very thin slices. Berries or pineapple can be crushed. Spread butter on a 2nd slice of bread and use it to cover the bread with the fruit. Cut this fruit sandwich in half and place it in the pan on top of the syrup mixture. And then, so you're gonna have 6 sandwiches in half, cut in half, and put them in the pan. You can crowd them a bit, but don't overlap the bread. So then you're gonna squish it all down so it's flatter with a metal spatula. I don't know how much it matters that it's a metal spatula, but that's what it says. And then it says you're gonna mix the eggs, the sugar, and the cinnamon with the cream and the vanilla, and you're gonna pour that over everything. And you're gonna like cover it with plastic wrap or foil and let it stand for a minimum of 20 minutes. So I guess this would technically be the 3rd note, with the first being I used a quart microwave cup to measure the butter and the sugar and everything you pour in the bottom. And then it's got berries or pineapple can crushed. And then it's got, when you're having a fancy breakfast, you can also make this the night before and keep it in the refrigerator until it's time to bake it. And then eventually you're gonna bake it at 350. You're gonna take off the plastic wrap and the foil or whatever you used to cover it. You're gonna melt this 3rd stick of butter and drizzle it over. And then you're gonna bake it at 350 for 45 minutes. You're gonna pull it out and let it cool for 5 minutes. And then sprinkle it with powdered sugar before you serve it. This will make a much prettier dish. It says offer more syrup and butter when you serve it. Half sandwiches 1 serving, 12 half sandwich servings. And the last thing, it says if you want to make this and you're really in a pickle because you don't have any fruit, try spreading the bread with a layer of fruit jam or marmalade. I haven't tried this, but I bet you batch of my best cookies that it'll work. Which I don't actually see why it wouldn't. If anything, I think it would work better because it's flatter than the fruit. But, we'll see. So, everything's all laid out in the kitchen. Let's get in there and get started. Here is everything we're going to need today. Okay. So everything's already out, so leaving the 2nd stick of butter is already done. The first thing, however, we're gonna do is, I guess we're melting the 2nd stick. So, put that in a bowl. And we are putting this with the cup of brown sugar and the 1/2 cup of maple syrup. It says 2.5 minutes in the microwave. It does say that this could be done in a pan on the stove, but the microwave works just as well for this, I would assume. 2.5 minutes seems a really long time to melt some butter, especially one steak. All right, so our butter concoction is out of the microwave. I assume the point of this was not only to melt the butter, but the brown sugar as well, because otherwise 2.5 minutes just seems too long just to melt some butter. But all right, so now we're taking our sprayed 9x13 pan and we're gonna pour these together. I'm gonna use that again, so we're just gonna set that aside for right now. And then it says to sprinkle the cup of chopped nuts. All right. Now we're going to set this aside again. And we are going to take our bread slices. So, wonder if I can get them all laid out in rows. Nope. Reset. Okay. Our 12 bread slices. Now we're going to take our butter. Okay, so I'm trying to decide best how to do this. I think I'm just going to do 6 over here and then leave those plain. Which, I don't know why it has you separate, because I don't see what would be so hard about just doing butter on all of them and then putting fruit on half and then putting them together. Because essentially that's what you're doing. You're buttering the 12 slices and then putting fruit on one side. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know why they wouldn't just say that. That's the outcome and that's what I'm gonna do. Now that we have them buttered, we are going to spread the fruit. So now we're just going to sandwich them and push down. So now cut this fruit sandwich in half. Yeah. Now, triangles or up and down? I like triangles. Two. This part will be messy. I am calling it now. Apparently I overfilled my sandwiches, which they looked underfilled when I was filling them, so I went back and I added a little more, but apparently I should not have done that. I should have just left it be. Or maybe it was always destined to be a mess. Alright, so this is what we got going on right now. I definitely had to smush some of them in. Alright. Oh, just gotta spread them down with a spatula. Forgot that part. So I don't know exactly how smushy we're looking to get here. But the more I smush, the more the filling comes out. So we're gonna call that good. So, back to this bowl. We're done with this? I don't know. Go sit there for now. Whisk. So now we're taking the eggs, our 8 eggs, with the sugar and cinnamon. So that's the 3/4 cup of sugar, the 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, I'm just whisk that together. Now we're adding the 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, as well as the 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now we're going to pour this over our bread. I'm not sure if this is supposed to happen, but some of the bread is rising out. Is it supposed to float? But it's only the top half that's floating so far. This is kind of intriguing to watch, how it's settling and sinking and then absorbing. Oh no, there, the second set's coming up. Okay, so plastic wrap. I'm making a mess, such a mess, oh no. Cover the pan with plastic wrap, but let it stand on the counter for a minimum of 20 minutes. I think I'm gonna give it 30, just because 30 sounds like a nice shot. So, we'll be back in 30 minutes. So, what I ended up doing was I set it for 20 minutes, and then I let it sit another 10 when my oven preheated to 350. So we've taken the plastic wrap off, and now it'll go in the oven for 45 minutes, cool on a rack for 5, and we'll see what we end up with. Oh, wait, we have to drizzle it with our last stick of butter. Okay, so now it'll go in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes. So here's what we have when it's come out of the oven. Let's let it 5 minutes to sit. So here's what we end up with. It's still really warm. It's really good. The top gives you a little bit of crunch around the edging, but the bottom is completely soaked in the brown sugar and the butter. There's some nuts down there too, a little bit. You scoop them up when you get everything, or when you pull them out, you scoop them up. I honestly, when I made it, I thought it was gonna be a bit more like the pineapple upside down cake and you flipped it out, but you don't. And I guess you could. That seems silly to waste all that effort, but I haven't done it. So I found this mocha fudge, like cold foam. I guess it's supposed to be like coffee mixed into whipped cream. That looks so cute. Okay. French toast is one of my favorite things, breakfast items. It probably is my favorite breakfast item, French toast. And I really like the layer of the fruit in the middle. And I like the fact the bottom is completely pretty much sogged out between the syrup on the bottom and the fruit, and then the custard on top. And the top, the part that floated up and wasn't completely soaked in the custard, it got crunchy. So that gives you an extra layer. It's really good. So good. One of my favorites. And it didn't take very long either. I think baking plus soaking is an hour and a little bit more throw it together. So like an hour 10, hour 20 maybe. And it's done and it's gorgeous and it's perfect. It's tasty. It's so good with that cold foam creamer on top too. But next week we will be moving on. I'll be doing the Sally's flourless chocolate cake, which I've never had that, a flourless chocolate cake. It sounds odd to me. But if you are interested in seeing it or finding out if it's any good, join us next week. I hope you lovelies have a good one. Bye guys.